So back in 2023, my friend and I placed a bet together on the Super Bowl. We put 50 bucks each, and we said if we win this bet, that would pay out $1,200, so 600 apiece. We will both purchase the OLED 34-inch ultra wide AW23 AW3423 DWF from Alienware OLED 34-inch ultra wide 165 hertz, and we ended up winning that. I think it was a 4 or 5 leg bet. Anyways, we ended up winning, so we bought this monitor, and that was a little bit over 2 years ago. So I have been using this OLED monitor for a little bit over 2 years.
Nice.
Let's talk about what it's been like using OLED for 2 years and if there's been any regret in paying such a high price for this monitor. Now, before I start showing the differences of the OLED panel and how it's survived over the past 2 years, please make sure to leave a comment on this video, like this video, and subscribe to the channel. It is greatly appreciated. Don't forget, OLED technology is still really picking up its heels now. It's getting more and more popular now as the best type of monitor available. And obviously with OLED monitors, there's the biggest downside that everybody is freaked out about, and that is the risk of burn-in. And that is when your image has a static display stuck, burnt into your screen, and no matter what, you can't get rid of it, and it basically ruins the image for anything that you're watching. So let's break it down quick and dirty. First of all, yes, OLED panels are extremely expensive compared to their IPS or VA counterparts. You could get a 34-inch OLED ultra-wide for about $1,000 Canadian now, whereas if you wanted to get a 34-inch IPS monitor or even VA, you're looking at maybe $300, which is insane because my other monitor that I use, the other ultra-wide that I use, is the VA 34-inch from Dell, which is the S3422DWG. Man, monitor names are so complicated. Anyways, and that is a 34-inch 1440p ultra wide, 144 hertz, but it is a VA panel. So yes, it is going to be much more expensive. So 2 years in with an OLED monitor, do I have any regrets? What has it been like using this as a daily driver next to my two IPS monitors on the side? And it's only normal, or it is a newer technology. It's a better technology, so it's going to be more expensive. And just like any other technology, when a new technology comes in, like an OLED panel, the weakest of the previous technology starts to phase out, which is why you see much less. I don't even think they make any more new TN panels anymore. And everybody was saying the same thing. As I was going to do my research on the forums, everybody was doing the same thing, that OLED panels, watch out, the risk of burn-in is huge. It's going to be like an OLED apocalypse. It's going to ruin your display. You're going to shell out over $1,000, and you're going to regret it a year or two from now when the screen gets burned in with the games you've been playing or the productivity you've been doing. And OLED panels are horrible because of that. It's not worth it. You're going to get good blacks, beautiful color for about a year, but after that, it's going to be pretty much trash. So let's see if that's really the case. Over 2 years of using this monitor pretty much daily, obviously not every day, wife, kids, all that, but pretty much daily. I use it for gaming. I use it for content consumption. So sometimes I like to watch movies. I use it for productivity once in a while. It's not my daily work monitor. I do have another work setup, but sometimes I do log in from here, and then I use it obviously for video editing. So it's a multi-purpose rig for me, and that is why I have a triple monitor setup along with the two IPS monitors on the side. But the main display is the OLED one. That's when all the content, that's where all the main activity is happening. It's that center monitor on the OLED. And after 2 years of using it pretty much daily, I do not notice a single pixel out of place, a single burn in. I will show you guys here some gray to gray and different gray level tests, different color OLED burn in tests, and I have not noticed any burn in whatsoever. So obviously the biggest disadvantages to OLED is one, the price, but with any premium grade material or premium grade technology, there's going to be a price associated with it, and two, it would be the risk of burn-in. But then you have to look at the pros that you're getting with this monitor compared to something like a VA or IPS panel. First of all, the blacks, they are so deep that they ended up ghosting me. You understand what I mean? The blacks are fantastic because the advantage of OLED, if you don't know, is that each individual pixel has its own light source in the back, unlike a IPS which has or a VA which has different lighting zones. An OLED has a light source for each individual pixel, which means that if you are looking at a black screen or a black part of a game, what it's going to happen is the pixel itself is just going to turn off its light source, which means that there is an absence of light, which means you're going to get a perfect black all the time. IPS panels, fantastic viewing angles, better blacks, better colors. TN panels had horrible colors and horrible lighting viewing angles, but the TN panels were much faster when it came to FPS and esports games. So people wanted to migrate towards TN panels instead of the better quality of an IPS. Well, with OLED, you don't have to compromise with that. You're getting the better colors and the better picture, but you're also getting an insanely fast response time as well. And obviously, the burn-in is gonna always be a risk if you have a static image. So right now, there's kind of a static image in the background, but that's just for this, right? Normally, I don't have a static image. I will have a moving wallpaper or no wallpaper. It'll just be black most of the time. That will help avoid and reduce any risk of burn-in or pixel burn-in. And obviously, the panel has its own built-in panel refresh and pixel refresh option that pops up automatically and allows your screen to do a little pixel refresh to reduce any risk of burn-in. So I recommend you do that every time. You could even set it that it does it automatically on standby. You just do it the first time and you forget about it. For some reason, I like having the option pop up and tell me, hey, it's time for a panel refresh. Take a quick 7 to 8 minute break and come back. It'll be done. So I don't recommend using an OLED monitor for your productivity monitor or work monitor if you're going to be staring at the same exact Excel spreadsheet for 8 hours a day. Luckily, I don't have to do that, which is why this makes sense for me. An OLED is it's fantastic for almost all the content you could consume. The biggest downfall is going to be on the productivity side if you're going to do work, but even for video editing, it's great for color accuracy. And again, you're not on the same static image for hours and hours on end, so the risk of burn-in is very reduced. But 2 years in, no regrets. It still looks amazing. For anybody saying that I'm not going to get an OLED because in 2 years it's going to be ruined with a burn-in image. I've been using it for 2 years, over 2 years now, actually almost 2.5 years now. Not a single sign of burn-in on my end. Maybe you people will be able to see a bit more in the videos I'm showing you, but if there is anything, it's not enough for me to notice it. And to be honest, next to the IPS panels, there is still some images that you could tell the difference. I have been able to tweak my IPS panels to make them much better than when I first got the OLED in comparison to them. But there are some scenes where it's just incomparable, right? And you look at them and you could tell which one's IPS and which one's OLED. Other ones, I've been able to tweak the IPS to make it look really good, but it's still not perfect. And on its own, the IPS looks fantastic, but pair it with the OLED right next to it, that's where you see the biggest difference. And once you see that difference, it's very hard to adjust back to it. I feel like a monitor, especially an OLED one, it's one of those things where I've had a bigger pleasure for viewing when I upgraded from IPS to OLED than when I did from when I went from what was the biggest graphical jump I did? My RX 480 to my 1080. That was probably the biggest jump in graphics card I did. But you know what I mean? If you're sitting on a graphics card that's still pushing a lot of FPS, you're gonna get a better visual experience by upgrading your monitor than upgrading your graphics card if your graphics card is still good. For example, before this, I had my 3090 and an IPS monitor. I had the counterpart, the IPS version of the ultra wide. I kept the 3090 obviously, and I got this OLED one, and that made a bigger difference than if I would have kept the IPS ultra wide and gone with a 4090. So if you're thinking of buying one, honestly, use my testimony as a reason to. And if you are thinking of buying one, please let me know which one down below, because ever since I got this monitor, there has been an influx of OLED monitors, influx of high refresh rate OLED monitors that look fantastic. 49-inch ultra wides, super ultra wides, regular 16:9 OLEDs as well that are super fast for esports gaming as well. So please let me know down below which one you think of getting. And please, guys, if you did enjoy this type of video, please make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. I really, really do appreciate it. And yeah, that'll do it for this one, guys. And I will catch you guys next time.